Good day. I want to talk about Steve Austin's podcast. I've been listening to Mr. Austin 3-4 months. I was a big fan of Mr. Austin during the Attitude Era when his feuds with Mr. McMahon. I've known about Mr. Austin going back to his WCW days. I remember the first time I remember him was when he was a Hollywood Blonde with Brian Pillman. I guess I saw him when he was in the UWF. He was there. He didn't really get my attention. I don't know if he was there or not, but I believe he started over there. He was under the tutelage of Dutch Mantel. He did time in Tennessee. He did time in the WCW. They really didn't do that well with it, but he had a good run there. And then he became Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the rest is history. He made quite a impression, and he's 5 years younger than me, and he may be the best wrestler that was born in that years. I think he's a better wrestler than Mick Foley. I think he's done a little better, and they're about the same age. I think he may be the best of that era, if you will. But that's not what I'm talking about. I want to talk about his podcast, because he is doing a fabulous job with his podcast. I have listened mostly to when he talks about the world of pro wrestling, when he talks to guys about it, and he interviews guys, and he has a way of interjecting himself into the interview, and then getting things out of the person that a lot of other people couldn't get out of him. And he does a fabulous job. Recently, he interviewed the hot rod, Roddy Piper, and I was just amazed at what he got out of it, and I was amazed at Mr. Piper, at how candid he was about how terrible his life was, and how awful that was, and how the despair that he dealt with, and the pain that he was dealing with. And it was just a tremendous interview. And I believe next Thursday will be the second half. The interview that he had with Shawn Michaels. And I came up in the area when we kind of believed, or we suspended disbelief with the wrestlers. And I grew up in the kayfabe era. And quite frankly, I was never really a big fan of Mr. Michaels. I didn't like Mr. Michaels. I'm one of those men who didn't like him because of the character he projected. But after Steve interviewed him, I liked him. I mean, I really liked, and I had a new opinion of Mr. Michaels. And yeah, I mean, it was great. I heard the interviews with Diesel, all three of them. The interviews with he's done a lot of interviews. He did one with Razor Ramon, whatever that gentleman's name is. He did one with Jim Ross. He did one with Ric Flair. Ric Flair, now he's a whole other different case, but I don't know what he got out of Ric Flair, but I've listened to all of them, and I may even go in and listen to some of his non-wrestling interviews, which I haven't yet, like he did an interview with Adam Carolla. He also, he sponsors products like the Alpha Brain and the tea from the Alpha Brain Company from Onyx.com. He also sponsors the Training Association, and he shoots a great promo. You know, I'm doing telephone work, and I love to listen to his promos, because his promos are a lot better than what I could do. So yeah, he does a great job, and you should check out the Steve Austin podcast. Peace out. Bye-bye.